You stand in the recruitment pit, and the air tastes like copper and fear. 63 boys stand with you in the shallow crater. The walls are smooth ferrocrete, worn by decades of bodies pressed against them. There's no shade. The sun of Voltar Prime beats down like a hammer on an anvil, and you've been standing here for 4 hours. Your legs stopped shaking an hour ago. Now they're just numb. The boy next to you, Kadek, you think his name is, keeps shifting his weight. You can hear his breathing, quick and shallow. You don't look at him. You learned that in the first hour. Don't make friends. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The chaplain stands on the pit's edge, a black silhouette against the white sky. His armor is the color of dried blood, scarred by centuries of war. Purity seals flutter in the hot wind, covered in script you can't read. His skull helm regards you with empty eye sockets, and you can't tell if there's a man inside or just another machine wearing human shape. Behind him, the servo skull hovers. It's smaller than you expected, no bigger than your head, but it moves with predatory precision. Cables dangle from its base like mechanical intestines. One eye socket glows a steady red. The other is dark, waiting. "Step forward," the chaplain's voice echoes through Vox speakers built into his helm. It sounds like grinding metal, like something that forgot how to be human. The first boy climbs out of the pit. He's older than you, maybe 16, maybe 17. Broad shoulders, farmer's hands. He walks with his head up, trying to look brave. You watch his hands tremble as he stands before the chaplain. The servo skull descends. It circles him once, twice, mechanical joints clicking softly. Then it stops in front of his face. A needle extends from its base. Thin as a hair, long as your finger. The boy doesn't flinch as it pierces his neck. You count heartbeats. 1, 2, 3. The skull's dark eye socket flares green. The boy's shoulders sag with relief. The chaplain gestures, and servitors drag him toward the fortress gates. He's one of you now. One of the chosen. One of the damned. Next! The process repeats. Boy after boy climbs out of the pit. The needle pierces. The light flares green or stays dark. Green means you walk to the fortress. Dark means servitors drag you in a different direction toward the smoke that rises beyond the eastern wall. You don't ask what happens there. You can smell burning meat on the wind. Green, dark, green, green, dark. You lose count of how many fail. The pit empties slowly. The sun climbs higher. Your throat is dust. Your lips crack and bleed when you lick them. You taste salt and copper and the metallic tang of fear sweat. Kadek goes before you. You watch him climb the rough footholds cut into the ferrocrete. His hands are steady. When the servo skull circles him, he meets its red eye without blinking. The needle slides into his neck. 1 heartbeat. 2, 3, 4, green! He stumbles toward the fortress, and you see him mouth something, a prayer maybe, or his mother's name. You'll never know. You'll probably never speak to him again. Next. Your legs move before your mind catches up. Your hands find the footholds. The ferrocrete is hot enough to burn, but you don't let go. You pull yourself up and over the edge, and suddenly you're standing in the chaplain's shadow. He's taller than you thought, taller than any human has a right to be. His armor drinks the light. Up close, you can see the kill markings etched into the ceramite, thousands of them, layer upon layer, a history written in death. The servo skull hovers in front of your face. You can hear its internal mechanisms whirring, processing, calculating. The red eye burns into yours. You try to hold its gaze, but you're just human, just flesh. Just a boy who might be meat by sunset. The needle extends. You don't flinch. You won't give them that. You feel the sting as it pierces the side of your neck, sliding through skin and muscle to find the vein beneath. There's a moment of cold, something injected, something drawn, and then the needle withdraws. The skull hovers motionless. Your heart hammers against your ribs. You can hear it in your ears, feel it in your throat. The sun burns, the wind dies. The world narrows to that dark eye socket and the light that might or might not come. 1 heartbeat, 2, 3, 4, 5. The eye socket flares green. The relief is physical. Your knees almost buckle. Your breath comes in a gasp you didn't mean to make. The chaplain's skull helm tilts slightly, regarding you with what might be satisfaction or contempt, or nothing at all. Your gene code is compatible, he says. His voice is still mechanical, still inhuman, but you hear something else beneath it now, something that might have been approval once. You may serve. Servitors appear at your elbows. Their faces are slack, their eyes dead. They guide you toward the fortress gates with mechanical precision. You walk on legs that don't feel like yours anymore. The other chosen are ahead of you, a ragged line of boys who passed a test they don't understand. Behind you, the servo skull descends to the next candidate. You hear the click of its joints, the whir of its mechanisms. You don't look back. You don't watch to see if the light flares green or stays dark. You've survived today. Tomorrow is a different question. The fortress swallows you whole. The gates are 20 feet tall, carved with scenes of battle you don't recognize. Angels with wings of flame, fighting monsters with too many limbs, cities burning, worlds dying. Glory and death, and the Emperor's name in high Gothic script that hurts to look at. Inside, the air is cooler. Recycled. Filtered. It smells like machine oil and incense and something else, something organic and wrong that makes your stomach clench. The servitors guide you down corridors of gray stone, past weapons you've never seen, past statues of heroes whose names you'll never learn. You pass a squad of full battle brothers in the corridor. They tower above you, even without their armor, 8 feet tall, muscles like cables under skin that's too pale, too perfect. They don't look at you. You're beneath notice, less than human. Not yet worthy of their gaze. You don't exist yet. The chaplain waits in a chamber carved from black stone. He's smaller than the battle brothers, but somehow more terrifying. His armor is bone white, covered in purity seals and scripture. His face is a skull, literally a skull you realize with horror, Servo, augmented and fused to his living flesh. Ruby lenses where his eyes should be. When he speaks, his voice is a vox-distorted growl. Strip. You obey. Everyone obeys. 43 of you stand naked in the cold chamber, shivering, trying not to show fear. Kotick is beside you. He's younger than you, maybe 13. His ribs show through his skin. He's been starving since before this election. Most of you have. A servo skull descends from the ceiling on anti-grav suspensors. It's smaller than the ones that guided you here, more delicate. Surgical implements dangle from its undercarriage like spider legs. Red light bathes your skin as it scans you. You feel the heat of it crawling across your flesh, probing, measuring, judging. The light turns green. You breathe. You didn't realize you'd stopped breathing. The skull moves to Kotick. Red light. You see him tense, see his hands ball into fists. The light flickers. Red. Green. Red. Green. It holds on red. Please, Kotick whispers. The light stays red. Next, the chaplain says. Kotick opens his mouth to beg. A servitor's hand clamps over his face before sound escapes. You watch him. Dragged backward. Watch his feet scrape against stone. Watch the door seal behind him. You never see him again. You learn later what red light means. Genetic incompatibility. Organ rejection probability above acceptable parameters. insufficient bone density, wrong blood type, 1,000 tiny flaws in your DNA that mean you'll die screaming when they try to make you more than human. Red light means the Emperor has no use for you. You learn later what happens to the red lights. Some become servitors, some become chapter serfs. Some simply disappear into the fortress's lower levels, into work gangs and maintenance crews and lives of service that end in unmarked graves. But that's later. Now, you just watch the skull move down the line. Green, red, green, green, red, red, green. The sound of bodies being dragged away, the sound of boys trying not to cry. When it's done, 31 of you remain. The chaplain raises one gauntleted hand. You have been found acceptable. The Emperor's gene seed may take root in your flesh. You may survive what comes next. He pauses. The skull lenses sweep across you. Most of you will not. The first step toward becoming Adeptus Astartes, toward becoming more than human, toward becoming a god's weapon. The first trial is endurance. You run. The fortress has a training track that circles its outer wall. 3 miles of stone and stairs and obstacles designed to break you. You run it, carrying a pack filled with rocks. 30 pounds. You run until someone falls. Then you run again with 40 pounds. Then 50. On the second lap at 50 pounds, a boy named Torrens' heart gives out. He's 14, tall, strong. It doesn't matter. He drops mid-stride, pack crushing him to the stone. A servitor drags his body away while you keep running. The pack gets heavier. The second trial is pain tolerance. They strap you to a metal frame and apply electrodes to your skin, increasing voltage. You're supposed to stay silent. You're supposed to endure. You scream anyway. Everyone screams, but you don't beg them to stop. Begging is failure. Begging is red light. 3 boys beg. 3 boys fail. The third trial is combat. Knives, wooden practice blades, but they still hurt. They put you in pairs and tell you to fight. First blood. You face a boy from the same intake ship, same holds, same starvation. You don't know his name. You cut him across the ribs. He cuts you across the forearm. You both bleed. You both pass. One pair refuses to fight. Brothers, maybe. Twins. They stand together and shake their heads. The chaplain nods. Servitors, take them both. 23 remain. The trials blur together. Pain and exhaustion and fear. You stop sleeping properly. Your body exists in a state of constant damage and partial healing. They feed you protein paste and vitamin supplements and something that tastes like rust. Your muscles ache. Your bones ache. Your teeth ache. The fourth trial is cold. Immersion in ice water for 10 minutes. You make it to 8 before you start shaking so hard you think your spine will crack. They pull you out at 9 minutes, 53 seconds. Good enough. The fifth trial is heat. Locked in a metal box under the fortress's heat exchangers, the air burns your lungs. You pass out. They wake you with cold water and tell you that you passed. You don't remember passing. The sixth trial is hunger. 3 days without food, just water. Your stomach cramps. You think about the protein paste. You think about the corpse starch rations on the intake ship. You'd kill for corpse starch right now. 2 boys try to steal food from the chapter serfs' quarters. They're caught. They fail. 19 remain. The 7th trial is the cliff. They take you outside the fortress at dawn on the 4th day. The death world's sun is rising, a pale, sickly thing filtered through layers of toxic atmosphere. The air outside tastes like copper and sulfur. Your eyes water. The fortress sits on a cliff face overlooking a canyon that drops 300 feet to jagged rocks below.
Somewhere down there, you hear water rushing. Somewhere down there, things are screaming.
The chaplain points up. Climb. The cliff face is smooth stone, nearly vertical. There are handholds carved into the rock. You wake to agony! Not the sharp pain of a cut or the dull ache of bruised muscle. This is different. This is your bones screaming. The apothecarian is white. Sterile white. The kind of white that makes your eyes hurt even through the haze of whatever drugs they've pumped into you. Servo arms hang from the ceiling like mechanical spiders. You can hear them clicking, whirring. You can hear other things too. Breathing. Wet, ragged breathing that might be yours. Your chest feels wrong. You try to move and immediately understand why the restraints exist. Thick leather straps across your wrists, your ankles, your forehead. You can't thrash. You can only feel. The os modula. They told you about this one during the indoctrination lectures. Bone enhancement, calcium restructuring, accelerated growth. The apothecary's voice had been clinical, detached. Your skeleton will be rebuilt. Stronger, denser, more resistant to impact and fracture. He didn't mention it would feel like your ribs are being torn apart from the inside. You can feel it happening, not metaphorically. Actually feel it. Each rib expanding, thickening, the cartilage between them hardening. Your sternum. You can feel your sternum splitting, widening, then fusing back together in a new configuration. Bone, grinding against bone. Your body cannibalizing itself and rebuilding in real time. A scream builds in your throat, but only comes out as a wheeze. Your lungs can't expand properly. Your rib cage is in flux. Someone is standing over you. The shape is blurry through your tears. White robes, red trim. The apothecary. His face is hidden behind a surgical mask and augmetic lenses. You can see yourself reflected in those lenses, pale, sweating, pupils blown wide. Rejection response within acceptable parameters, he says. Not to you, to someone else, to a data slate. Heart rate elevated but stable. Proceed with the second phase. You want to ask what the second phase is. You don't get the chance. Cold floods your veins. They've injected something new. Your body temperature drops so fast you start shivering despite the fire in your chest. Your teeth chatter. The restraints creak as you convulse. The cold is fighting the heat. Your immune system trying to kill the foreign organ they've grafted into your chest cavity. The os modula pumping out its hormones. Your body at war with itself while you lie strapped to a table and suffer through it. Time stops meaning anything. You fade in and out. Sometimes you're aware of the apothecary's servo arms working, making adjustments. Sometimes you hear voices, other candidates screaming in nearby surgical bays. Sometimes you hear nothing but your own heartbeat, too fast, too loud, hammering against ribs that are no longer the ribs you were born with. At some point, you realize you're crying, not from pain, though there's plenty of that, but from something deeper. Grief, maybe. You're mourning your old body, the body you grew up in. The body that climbed trees as a child, that ran through streets, that felt normal and whole and yours. That body is gone. They're building something else, something harder, something that can survive what's coming. You don't know if you want to survive anymore, but your body doesn't care what you want. It's adapting, fighting, changing. Your ribs have stopped grinding. The fire in your chest has dulled to a deep, throbbing ache. Your breathing comes easier now, deeper. You can feel the increased lung capacity. Feel the way your new rib cage flexes and holds. The apothecary leans over you again. His augmetic lenses whir as they focus. Consciousness maintained throughout. Good. That shows mental fortitude. He makes a notation on his data slate. You may experience phantom sensations for several weeks. Itching beneath the bone, pressure that isn't there. This is normal. Your nervous system is adapting to the new skeletal structure. He moves away. The servo arms retract into the ceiling with a hiss of pneumatics.
Rest now,
he says. The US modula will continue its work over the next 72 hours. Your bones will achieve full density in approximately 6 months. Until then, avoid excessive impact to the thoracic region. You almost laugh. Almost. Avoid impact. On a death world, during trials designed to kill you, the restraints release with a click. You don't move. Can't move. Your body is a foreign country now. You need to learn its borders again. In the surgical bay next to yours, someone is screaming, high and thin and breaking. You turn your head just barely and see through the gap in the curtain. Another candidate. Younger than you. Maybe 15. His chest is open. Actually open. You can see his ribs spreading like bloody wings while servo arms work inside him. You look away. You stare at the white ceiling and count your breaths. In. Out. In. Out. Each one deeper than before. Each one proof that you're still alive. Each one proof that you're becoming something else. The drugs pull you under again. As you sink into unconsciousness, you feel your ribs one more time. Solid now. Fused. Unbreakable. You sleep, and your bones grow stronger in the dark. You wake to the smell of counterseptic and copper. Your eyes won't open. Crusted shut. You try to lift your hand to wipe them, but your arm weighs 1,000 kilograms. Every muscle screams. You manage to turn your head just barely, and dried blood cracks across your eyelids. Blink. Blink again. Vision swims into focus. White ceiling, white walls, the steady beep of a heartbeat monitor. Yours. Still going. Still alive. You're in a Medicaid bed. Clean sheets. Your chest is wrapped in thick gauze, brown stains seeping through where the surgical incisions are. Each breath feels wrong, too deep, like your lungs are filling more than they should, like your rib cage is a cage now instead of bones. You try to sit up. Bad idea. Pain explodes through your torso, white hot, blinding. You gasp and fall back against the thin pillow. The monitor beside you starts beeping faster. Panic. Your body doesn't understand what's been done to it. Lie still. A voice. Flat. Mechanical. Not unkind, just empty of anything human. An apothecary stands at the foot of your bed. His armor is white, marked with the red cross of his office. His face is hidden behind a rebreather, only his eyes visible, pale gray, like ice. He's holding a data slate. Candidate 773, he says, reading from the slate. Os modula integration, acceptable. Hemastamen function, within parameters. Catalepsia node, dormant but viable. He looks up at you. You survived. You survived. The words don't feel real yet. How many? Your voice is a rasp. Your throat is raw. You remember screaming during the surgery. You remember begging them to stop. You remember? 9, the apothecary says. 9. You stare at him. Your mind tries to process that number. 43 of you went into the surgical theaters 3 days ago. You remember waiting in line. You remember Caddick's empty bunk beside yours. You remember the boy from the southern hive, Torvin, who kept praying to the emperor under his breath. 43. 9. The others? You manage to ask. The apothecary tilts his head slightly. Rejection, organ failure, hemorrhage, cardiac arrest. He says it like he's listing equipment malfunctions. Their bodies were not compatible with the gene seed. The emperor's work continues with those who remain. You close your eyes. 34. 34 candidates who made it through the trials. Who climbed the cliffs? Who survived the combat tests and the pain glove and the week without sleep? 34 who laid down on those surgical tables and never woke up. You see their faces behind your eyelids. Not all of them. You didn't know most of their names. But some. The girl with the scar across her jaw. The twins from the factory district. The one who never spoke, just nodded. All gone. You will experience discomfort for the next 48 hours, the apothecary continues, consulting his slate. Your skeletal structure is reinforcing. Do not attempt strenuous movement. You will be fed intravenously until your digestive upgrades stabilize. He pauses. If you experience fever above 42 degrees, bleeding from the eyes, or paralysis, alert the Medicaid staff immediately. He turns to leave. Wait, you rasp. The others who survived, where? Recovery Ward 3. You will see them during rehabilitation. He stops at the curtain, his back to you. Candidate 773. You have been granted a great honor. The chapter's gene seed now grows within you. Do not waste it. Then he's gone. You lie there in the white room, listening to your heartbeat on the monitor. Steady. Strong. Stronger than it should be. You can feel it in your chest, not just your heart, but something else. Something new. The implant's working. Changing you. Making you into something more than human. Or less. You don't know yet. You turn your head, slowly, carefully, and look at the beds around you. Most are empty. Clean white sheets pulled tight, waiting for the next batch of candidates. But 3 beds down! You see someone! A shape under the covers, breathing, alive. Another survivor. You try to see their face, but the distance is too far, and your vision is still blurry. You'll meet them later. During rehabilitation, the 9 of you, 9 out of 43, those are the odds. Those are the numbers the Imperium finds acceptable. Your chest aches, not from the surgery, from something deeper, guilt maybe, or relief, or both tangled together until you can't tell which is which. You're alive and Kadek isn't. You're alive and Torvin isn't. You're alive and 33 others aren't. You're alive. The thought sits in your stomach like a stone. You stare at the white ceiling and count your breaths. In, out, each one deeper than before. Your new lungs working. Your fused ribs expanding and contracting. You can feel the difference already. You can breathe deeper. Hold it longer. Your body is becoming a weapon. Somewhere down the hall, you hear a scream. Sharp. Cut off. Then silence. The monitor beside you beeps steadily on. You close your eyes and try not to think about the 34 who didn't make it. Try not to imagine them on those surgical tables. Try not to see their faces. Try not to hear their screams mixing with your own. But you do. You see them all, and you know that you'll carry them with you, every single one, their names or their faces or just the memory of their empty bunks. You'll carry them through whatever comes next, through the training and the missions and the battles, through all of it. Because you survived and they didn't. Because someone has to remember. Because that's what it means to be one of the 9. You open your eyes. The white ceiling stares back at you, indifferent. The Imperium doesn't care about the 34. They were failures. Genetic incompatibilities. Acceptable losses in the great machine of war. But you care. You don't. The Crucible. Dropped alone on the Death World surface at dawn with a combat knife and 3 days water. You don't even know the planet's name. The Thunderhawk's ramp drops, and the air hits you first, wet heat that clings to your skin like oil, thick with spores and rot. The stench of decomposition rises from the jungle floor below, mixing with ozone from the storm systems you descended through. Your enhanced olfactory sense catalogs it all. Fungal decay, animal musk, something sulfurous bubbling up from volcanic vents. The death world breathes around you, alive in ways that make your skin crawl. Move, Scout. The chaplain's voice is iron-wrapped in ceremony. You step forward. The combat knife weighs almost nothing in your hand. 30 centimeters of folded steel, a simple leather-wrapped grip, no ornamentation. The water canteen at your hip holds 3 days' worth of your discipline. You won't be. You look back once. The chaplain's skull helm reflects the dawn light, expressionless. Behind him, you can see 4 other candidates preparing to drop at different coordinates.
You don't know their names! You weren't allowed to learn them.
The Emperor watches Scout. Prove worthy of his gaze. Then you're falling. The drop is controlled, barely. Your body knows how to land now, the training beaten into muscle memory through 10,000 repetitions. You hit the canopy 30 meters up, branches cracking under your weight. Your hands find purchase automatically, fingers digging into bark slick with moss. You slide, controlled descent through layers of vegetation until your boots hit solid ground. The jungle swallows the thunderhawk's roar in seconds. Silence. No, not silence. The absence of mechanical sound reveals something worse. The constant rustle and click and hiss of a million living things, all of them hungry. The canopy blocks most of the dawn light. What filters through is green, tinged, sickly. You can see perhaps 20 meters in any direction before the vegetation becomes a solid wall of shadow. You check your implants first, running through the mental exercises. The os modula in your chest aches, a deep bone pain that hasn't stopped since the surgery. Your enhanced muscles respond smoothly. No rejection symptoms yet. The catalepsian node lets you perceive the environment with crystal clarity despite your exhaustion. Everything works, for now. 3 days. Survive 3 days and reach the extraction point. 17 kilometers northeast through terrain that kills trained soldiers for sport. 17 kilometers, while your body either accepts the implants or tears itself apart trying. You start walking. The ground is treacherous. Ankle-deep mud concealing roots that twist like serpents. Each step releases bubbles of marsh gas that reek of methane. Your boots sink and pull, sink and pull. Within an hour, your legs burn. Within 2, you've learned to read the subtle color differences in the mud that indicate stable ground versus the patches that will swallow you to the waist. Something screams in the distance, high-pitched, almost human. Then silence again, abrupt as a blade cut.
You don't run. Running means exhaustion. Exhaustion means mistakes. Mistakes mean death.
The knife stays in your hand. Always. Midday, the heat becomes suffocating. Your bodysuit wicks away sweat, but there's too much of it. You're losing water faster than you planned. The canteen mocks you from your hip. 3 days' worth. You take a single sip, letting the tepid liquid sit in your mouth before swallowing.
Not enough. Never enough.
Your enhanced physiology helps. You can process toxins better than baseline humans, survive on less water, push your body further. But you're not a full space marine. Not yet. You're something in between, stronger than human, weaker than your brothers. The implants are still integrating, your body is still changing, still fighting itself. You find the first corpse 2 hours past midday. It's half buried in the mud, face down. The armor markings identify it as a candidate from an earlier trial. How long ago you can't tell. The jungle claims everything fast. The body is bloated with decay, skin mottled green-black. Something has been feeding on it, multiple somethings. You don't stop. You don't look closer. The dead have nothing to teach you except that this is real, and you already knew that. But you do notice the knife is missing from the corpse's belt. The jungle thickens. The trees here are massive trunks, wider than rhino transports, roots that form cathedral arches overhead. Bioluminescent fungi cling to the bark, pulsing with sickly yellow light. The air tastes of copper and rot. Your boots squelch through something that might be mud or might be the liquefied remains of whatever the jungle has digested this week. You hear it before you see it. A rustle, too deliberate, too focused. You freeze. The training takes over, breathing slows, muscles relax, senses expand. You become part of the environment, just another shadow among shadows. Your enhanced hearing picks apart the soundscape, insect buzz, water drip, branch creak. And there, movement, circling, stalking. It's watching you. You can't see it yet, but you know it's there. Something in the way the ambient noise shifts around a moving body, something in the quality of the silence that follows its passage. Your hand tightens on the knife. The blade feels inadequate suddenly. 30 centimeters of steel against whatever this world has bred to hunt. The creature steps into view. Razor Wing. Your enhanced memory catalogs the details instantly. From the briefing, you barely remember. Avian predator, 2-meter wingspan, serrated beak designed to shear through flak armor, talons that can disembowel with a single strike. Apex predator, territorial, aggressive. It tilts its head, studying you with eyes that reflect the fungal light like mirrors. Intelligent, calculating. It's killed before, many times. You don't move. The razorwing takes a step closer. Its talons sink into the mud without sound. Another step. You can see the muscles bunch under its feathers, iridescent black-green, beautiful in the way that poison is beautiful. It lunges. You're already moving. The training doesn't think. It acts. Your body drops and rolls left, mud spraying. The razorwing's talons rake the space where your head was a heartbeat ago. You come up in a crouch, knife reversed in your grip, and drive upward with everything you have. The blade punches through the soft tissue under its jaw. Up, through the roof of its mouth. You feel the tip scrape bone, then break through into the brain cavity. The razorwing shrieks, a sound like tearing metal that makes your teeth ache. Its wings explode outward, 6-meter span, thrashing in death spasms. One wing edge catches your shoulder, sends you sprawling backward into the mud. But you don't let go of the knife. You hold on as the creature convulses, as hot blood pours over your hand, your wrist, your forearm. It's thicker than you expected. Hotter. The smell hits you copper, and ammonia, and something alien, something wrong. The razorwing's legs kick, talons scything through empty air. Its beak snaps shut once, twice, 3 times. Each snap weaker than the last. Then it goes still. You lie there in the mud, still gripping the knife, still connected to your first kill. Your breath comes in ragged gasps. Your heart hammers against your fused ribs. You can feel the osmodulas work, the strange solidity of your restructured chest. Everything hurts. Your shoulder where the wing caught you. Your hand cramping around the knife handle, the burn in your lungs from the run, the fear, the adrenaline crash. You killed it. You actually killed it. The thought feels distant, like it belongs to someone else. You're looking at your hand, your blade hand, slick with blood up to the elbow, and it doesn't quite feel like your hand anymore. The fingers are too steady. The grip too sure. This is the hand of someone who kills. This is the hand of a Space Marine scout. You force yourself to stand. Your legs shake. You ignore it. The razorwing lies in the mud, still beautiful, still dangerous, even in death. You put your boot on its chest and pull the knife free. More blood wells up, black in the fungal light. You wipe the blade on the creature's feathers, watching the blood bead and run. The feathers are softer than they looked, almost downy near the base. You wonder if it had a mate, if there are chicks in the nest waiting for it to return. You push the thought away. It doesn't matter. This is what you are now. This is what you do. The nest is 20 meters up, built into a cleft in the canyon wall. You can see the edge of it from here, woven from bone and sinew, white against the dark stone. You should check it. Razor wings, cache food. There might be something you can use. Water, meat, something. But first you need to deal with the body. You kneel beside it, knife in hand. The chapter's survival instructors were clear. Waste nothing. A kill this size can keep you alive for days if you're smart about it. The blood is already soaking into the mud, but you can salvage the organs, the heart, the liver. The flag muscles are dense with protein. Even the bones can be cracked for marrow. You make the first cut along the sternum. The blade parts skin and muscle like paper. Steam rises from the body cavity. The razor wing's internal temperature was higher than yours, higher than human. The heat feels good against your face. The blood is still warm on your hands. You work methodically, the way you were taught. Cut, separate, preserve. Your hands move with a precision that surprises you. Muscle memory from training, yes, but also something deeper. Something the implants are doing to you. Your fingers don't slip. Your cuts are clean. Even covered in blood and mud and alien viscera, you're efficient. Professional. The heart comes out first, a 4-chambered organ the size of your fist, still twitching. You set it aside on a flat rock. The liver next, dark purple and heavy. Then the flight muscles, great slabs of meat from the chest and wings. You cut away the skin in strips. It's thick, tough, might make decent cordage if you treat it right. By the time you're done, your arms are red to the shoulders. The razor wing is a hollow shell, just bones and feathers and empty space. You've reduced an apex predator to components, to resources, to survival. The sun is higher now. You can feel it through the canopy, a dim warmth that barely penetrates the fungal growth. You need to move, need to find water, clean yourself, get this blood off before the smell attracts something worse. But you also need to eat. You slice a strip of muscle from the pile and bring it to your mouth. Hesitate. It's raw. Alien. Could be toxic, could be poison, could kill you as surely as the razor wing's talons would have. But you're starving, and you've been starving for 3 days, and the Prial-Nor implant in your throat is supposed to handle this, supposed to neutralize toxins. Supposed to let you eat things that would kill a normal human. You bite down. The meat is tough, stringy, tastes like copper and ozone. You chew mechanically, forcing it down. Your Prial-Nor burns. You can feel it activating. Feel the strange chemical heat in your throat as it processes the alien proteins. Your stomach lurches. For a moment you think you're going to vomit. Then the nausea passes. You take another bite. Then another. The meat goes down easier each time. Your body is learning, adapting, accepting. By the 5th bite, you barely taste it. By the 10th, you're just eating, refueling, doing what needs to be done. You eat until your stomach is full. Until the gnawing hunger that's been with you since the drop finally recedes. It feels like victory. Small, bloody, necessary victory. The rest of the meat you wrap in the razor wing skin, tie it with strips of sinew, maybe 10 kilos of usable tissue. Enough for a week if you ration it. Enough to reach the extraction point with strength to spare. You sling the package over your shoulder and start climbing. The nest is easier to reach than you expected. The canyon wall has good handholds, and your enhanced strength makes the climb almost effortless. You pull yourself over the edge and into the nest itself. It's bigger than it looked from below. 3 meters across, night falls on the 3rd day, and something goes wrong inside you. You're halfway up the eastern ridge, making good time toward the extraction coordinates, when the first wave hits. Your vision doubles.
Triples!
The rocks beneath your hands writhe like living things. You stumble, catch yourself against a boulder that feels too hot, too cold, both at once. Your skin is on fire. You press your palm to your forehead and it comes away slick with sweat, not the clean sweat of exertion. This is different, oily, smelling of chemicals and something else, something wrong. Your body temperature is spiking. You can feel it in your bones, in the new architecture of your skeleton, where the osmodula has been rewriting you at the cellular level. The implants are rejecting. You knew this could happen. They told you in the apothecarian. Brother! Apothecary Helian's voice, clinical and distant. 15 to 20% of aspirants experience acute rejection during the initial integration phase. If it occurs in the field, find shelter, stay hydrated, survive. Survive. Right. You force yourself to move. There's an overhang 50 meters ahead. You spotted it an hour ago when your vision still worked properly. You stumble toward it, legs uncertain beneath you. The ground tilts. You go down hard, palms scraping against stone, and the pain feels distant, like it's happening to someone else. Get up! You get up! The overhang is shallow, but it's enough. You crawl into it, dragging your pack and the wrapped razor wing meat. Your hands are shaking. You manage to unseal your water bottle and drink. The liquid hits your stomach and immediately threatens to come back up. You force it down, force yourself to keep it down, swallowing again and again until the nausea passes. Then you lie back against the stone and wait for the fever to break or kill you. The hallucinations start an hour later. At first, they're subtle, shadows moving at the edge of your vision, the sound of voices in the wind. You know they're not real. You tell yourself they're not real, but knowing doesn't help when your mother's voice calls your name from the darkness. Your real name, the one you haven't spoken since the chaplain burned it from the records. Matthias! Matthias, where are you? You close your eyes. It doesn't help. Behind your eyelids, she's there, standing in the doorway of the Hab unit you grew up in, the one on the lower levels of Hive Tertius. She's wearing her factory uniform, the gray coveralls with the administratum seal on the breast, and she looks tired. She always looked tired. I'm not Matthias, you whisper to the darkness. Not anymore. But you are. For these few hours, in the grip of the fever, you are. The memory unfolds whether you want it or not. You're 12 years old. It's your birthday. Not that birthdays mean much in the Underhive, but your mother remembered. She saved extra ration coupons for weeks. There's real protein on your plate tonight. Not corpse starch, not algae paste. Real protein from something that was once alive above ground. You can taste it. The flavor is so vivid it makes you salivate even now, even as you lie burning on an alien world light years away. Eat slowly, she says. Make it last. You eat slowly, you make it last, and when you're done, she produces something else, a data slate. Old, scratched, probably third or fourth hand. But it works. It has books on it, real books, stories about heroes and wars and the glory of the Imperium. Happy birthday, Matthias! You took that slate with you everywhere. Read it under the dim Lumi strips in a factory where you worked your first shift at 13. Read it in the communal sleep hab while others snored around you. Read it until you could recite whole passages about the Adeptus Astartes, the Emperor's Angels of Death, the greatest warriors humanity had ever produced. You wanted to be one of them. Be careful what you wish for. The memory shifts. Fragments now, coming faster. You're 14. The chaplain's servo skull is scanning the crowd of Underhive youth. You're standing in the recruitment pit with 200 others. The skull's Auspex beam sweeps across your face and turns green. Green means compatible gene seed. Green means you leave this place. You look back at your mother in the crowd. She's crying. You don't understand why. You're being chosen. You're going to be a hero. You never saw her again. The fever spikes higher. Your body convulses. You taste blood. You've bitten your tongue. The pain grounds you for a moment, pulls you halfway back to reality. You're in the overhang. You're on the death world. You're not Matthias. You're a scout, aspirant of the Adeptus Astartes. But the visions won't stop. You're in the trials now, the first ones before the implants. They're testing your body, your mind, your will. You're in a chamber filled with freezing water, holding your breath until your lungs scream. You're running until your legs give out, then running more. You're fighting other aspirants with shock staves, learning that hesitation means pain. Kadek is there. You see him clearly. Tall, lean, with that crooked smile he'd flash before every trial. He was from a hive world too, spoke with an accent you couldn't quite place. You trained together, slept in adjacent cells. When the instructors pushed you past breaking, he muttered jokes under his breath. Dark jokes. Gallows humor. At least the food's better than home, right? He'd say, choking down the nutrient paste they fed you. You see him on the cliff face? See his hand slip? See his eyes go wide? Hear his screen cut off when he hits the rocks below. No, that was later. That was after the implant started. The memories are bleeding together, past and present, mixing in the fever soup of your mind. You're in the apothecarian, the first surgery. They've strapped you to the table, but you're conscious. They want you conscious, need you to stay aware so they can monitor your responses. The apothecary's servo arms descend. You feel the first. The Thunderhawk's engines scream through the acid rain before you see it, a sound you feel in your chest cavity, in the new bones that aren't quite settled yet. You stand at the extraction point with 5 others, 6 of you total. 43 went into the drop pods. You don't know their names. You haven't spoken in 3 days. Your throat is raw from drinking filtered rainwater and screaming during the fever dreams. The scout to your left, the one with the razor-wing talon necklace, keeps flexing his hands, opening, closing. His knuckles are split and haven't healed right. The implants are still taking. The rain hits your face, burns. Not badly, just enough to remind you that this world wants you dead. Everything here wants you dead. The plants that tried to digest you while you slept. The insects that laid eggs in the wound on your shoulder. The razorwing whose blood you can still taste when you swallow. This entire planet is a teeth, grinding, acid-spitting, poison-breathing machine designed to kill anything soft enough to die. You're not soft anymore. The Thunderhawk breaks through the cloud layer. Massive, ugly, beautiful, its hull is scarred with battle damage, scorched black in places, but the aquila on its nose is still visible through the rain. Your throat tightens. You don't know why. Some residual emotion from before, from when you had a name that wasn't just candidate or aspirant or you there. The landing gear deploys. Hydraulics hiss. The craft settles onto the extraction pad, ancient rockcrete, cracked and overgrown with something that looks like moss, but moves when you're not looking at it. The rear ramp drops. Sergeant Marrow stands at the top. He's in full scout armor, but his helm is mag-locked to his belt. You see his face for the first time. Scarred. Augmetic left eye that glows faint red. No expression. He surveys the 6 of you like a man counting livestock. Move, he says. You move. Your legs shake. 3 days of constant motion, constant fear, constant pain. You climb the ramp. The scout beside you stumbles, falls to one knee. Morrow doesn't help him, just watches. The scout gets up. Keeps climbing. Inside the Thunderhawk, it's dark, and it smells like promethium and old blood. Crash seats line both walls. You take the nearest one. Strap in! Your hands know what to do, even though you've never been in a Thunderhawk before. Muscle memory from training you don't remember receiving. Or maybe the implants carry knowledge. Maybe the gene seed whispers instructions into your nervous system. The other 5 strap in. No one speaks. No one. Inside the Thunderhawk, it's dark, and it smells like promethium and old blood. Crash seats line both walls. You take the nearest one. Strap in! Your hands know what to do, even though you've never been in a Thunderhawk before. Muscle memory from training you. 43 candidates entered the crucible, he says. His voice is flat, mechanical, like he's reading from a data slate. 6 remain. This is acceptable. Acceptable. 37 dead is acceptable. Kadek falling is acceptable. The fever that nearly killed you is acceptable. The Razorwing's talons raking your back is acceptable. You feel something in your chest. Not pain, not the implants settling. Something else, something cold and hard and permanent. A door closing, a bridge burning. The person you were before. The one who would have wept for Kadek, who would have hesitated before killing. That person is dying. Has been dying. Is almost dead now. You are no longer candidates, Morrow continues. You are neophytes, scout aspirants. You will train. You will fight. Most of you will die before you earn your power armor. This is acceptable. The ramp closes. Seals. The cabin pressure changes and your ears pop. The engines throttle up. You feel the Thunderhawk lift, that stomach-dropping sensation of leaving solid ground. Through the small viewport beside your crash seat, you watch the death world fall away. The fungal forests, the acid lakes, the mountains where Kadek died. It shrinks, becomes small, becomes nothing. You don't feel relief. You don't feel triumph. You feel empty. Scraped out. Hollowed. The scout across from you, the one with the Razorwing talon necklace, catches your eye, holds it. His face is gaunt, feverish, but his eyes are clear, hard. You recognize something in them, the same thing that's growing in you. Acceptance. This is your life now. This is what you are, a weapon being forged, a tool being sharpened. The Imperium needs soldiers, and you are becoming one. Willingly or not, successfully or not. The Thunderhawk climbs through the atmosphere. The acid rain becomes regular. Rain becomes clouds, becomes nothing. Through the viewport, you see stars. Real stars. Not the ones you hallucinated during the fever. Not the ones from your old life that you can barely remember. These stars are cold and distant, and they don't care if you live or die. You close your eyes. Try to sleep. Can't. The implants ache. Your body is rebuilding itself at the cellular level, and every nerve ending is screaming. But you've learned to function through pain, to breathe through it, to let it wash over you like the acid rain. Morrow is moving through the cabin, checking each neophyte. When he reaches you, he stops, looks down. His augmetic eye clicks. You killed a Razorwing, he says, not a question. You nod. Bare-handed? Knife, you say. Your voice cracks. First word you've spoken in days. He grunts, almost approval. You'll do. He moves on. You don't feel pride, don't feel anything, just exhaustion, just the deep, bone-level weariness of someone who has been tested and hasn't broken. Yet, the Thunderhawk's engines change pitch. You're ascending, leaving the death world behind, rising toward whatever comes next. You open your eyes. Look at the 5 other survivors, your brothers now, whether you want them or not, whether they want you or not. Bound by shared suffering, by the implants rewriting your bodies, by the chapters. The briefing room smells like weapon oil and stale sweat. You stand at attention with the other 5 survivors. Not scouts yet, not fully, but no longer candidates either. Something in between, something being forged. Sergeant Marrow stands before the hololith display. He hasn't blinked in the 3 minutes you've been watching. You know because you've been counting. Trying to understand if he's human anymore, or if the implants have taken something essential and replaced it with something else, something you're becoming. Fungal canyons. Sector 773. His voice is gravel scraped across metal. Orc scouts. Probable strength, 8 to 12 greenskins. possible heavier support. The hololith flickers, showing terrain that looks like diseased lungs. Purple-gray fungal growths erupting from canyon walls, spore clouds drifting through ravines. Your mission is reconnaissance and elimination. You will track. You will observe. You will kill only when necessary. He looks at each of you in turn. When his eyes find yours, you feel weighed, measured, found wanting but acceptable.
You are not Space Marines, Morrow says. You are scouts. You are eyes and ears.
You are shadows that report back. You do not seek glory. You do not seek death. You seek information. A pause. But if death finds you anyway, you will take as many of the Emperor's enemies with you as your training allows. The hololith shifts, shows a route through the canyons. Narrow passages, ambush points, places where the fungal growth grows so thick it blocks sight lines, places where orcs would hide, places where you could die without anyone ever finding your body. Insertion at A400, extraction at 1800, 14 hours. No Vox contact unless you've confirmed enemy strength and position, radio silence otherwise. Morrow's jaw works. The orcs know we're here. They're probing our perimeter, testing our defenses. We need to know what they're planning before they plan it. He deactivates the hololith. The room dims. Equipment check in 30 minutes. Departure in 2 hours. Dismissed. You don't move immediately. None of you do. This is real now. Not training, not trials. Actual combat. Actual orcs who will actually try to kill you. Your hands don't shake. They should. But the implants have done something to your fear response. Dampened it. Channeled it into focus instead of panic. You feel the fear, cold and sharp in your chest, but it doesn't control you. Not anymore. You file out with the others. No one speaks. What would you say? The armory smells like promethium and blessed oils. The artificer hands you your war gear piece by piece. Camellia-lined cloak, scout armor, lighter than power armor, flexible, designed for stealth rather than protection. Bolt pistol, combat knife, frag grenades, auspex scanner. Each piece feels sacred. Feels earned. You check the bolt pistol 3 times. Load the magazine. Unload it. Load it again. The motions are automatic now. Drilled into your muscle memory through 10,000 repetitions. Your hands know what to do even when your mind is elsewhere. Thinking about the canyons, the fungal growths, the orcs. You've never seen an orc. Not in person. Only in training vids and threat assessment briefings. Massive. Brutal. Stronger than humans. Tougher than humans. Living only for war and violence. Their technology shouldn't work. Ramshackle scrap welded together by instinct. But it does. Because they believe it does. Because their psychic gestalt field makes belief into reality. You don't understand it. Don't need to. Just need to kill them. The artificer makes the sign of the Aquila over your weapons. Mutters a prayer to the Omnissiah. You echo it. The words feel hollow in your mouth, but you say them anyway. Faith is a weapon too, even hollow faith. Especially hollow faith. The Rhino transport rumbles through pre-dawn darkness. You sit between 2 other scouts, the one on your left. Thrace keeps checking his equipment, nervous energy radiating off him. The one on your right. Corvus sits perfectly still, eyes closed, breathing measured. You're somewhere between them. Not calm, not panicked, just ready. Sergeant Morrow sits across from you. Still hasn't blinked. His eyes reflect the red emergency lighting inside the transport. Making them look like coals, like something burning. First contact protocol, he says. Not a question, a test. Observe, assess, report if possible. Engage only if compromised or if target of opportunity presents itself. Your voice is steady. surprising yourself. Motto nods fractionally. Orc behavior in confined terrain. Aggressive, overconfident, will pursue prey into ambush zones, rely on strength and numbers rather than tactics. You pause. But not stupid. Cunning, will use terrain, will set traps of their own. Another nod. What kills you in the canyons? Overconfidence. Broken silence. Spore inhalation. Ambush. Equipment failure. Assuming orcs are predictable, you meet his eyes, forgetting that they want to kill me as much as I want to kill them. Something that might be approval flickers across Maro's face. Might be. Hard to tell. The rhino lurches to a stop. The rear ramp begins to lower. Cold air floods in. You taste fungal spores immediately, bitter and organic, coating your tongue. Move, Nara says. You move. The canyon mouth looms before you in the pre-dawn gloom. Massive fungal shelves jut from the walls like diseased balconies. Spore clouds drift in lazy spirals. The air is thick, wet. Every breath feels like drinking. Your Auspex scanner shows nothing, yet. Maro leads. You follow third in the column. Standard scout formation, 5 meters between each member. Close enough to support, far enough that one grenade won't kill you all. The ground is soft, covered in fungal matter that squelches under your boots. You try to step lightly, but there's no avoiding the sound. Like walking through rotted meat. The canyon walls rise 50. The orc appears from behind a fungal column so suddenly that your training almost fails you. Almost. You see the axe first. Crude. Massive. Rust. Brown with what might be dried blood or just oxidation. There's no difference with orcs. The blade catches what little light filters down through the spore clouds. It whistles as it cuts air where your head was a heartbeat ago. You're already moving. Your body drops into a crouch before your conscious mind registers the threat. The axe passes over you. You close enough that you feel the displacement of air against your scalp. Close enough that a strand of your hair catches on the weapon's edge and parts with a sound like tearing paper. The green skin is huge. Of course it's huge. They're always huge. But knowing that intellectually and having 200 kilos of muscle and fungal rage looming over you are different experiences. Its skin is the color of pond scum, thick, leathery, covered in scars that form crude patterns, either tribal markings or just the accumulation of a violent life. Its jaw juts forward, filled with yellowed tusks. Its eyes are small, red, burning with an enthusiasm for violence that's almost innocent in its purity. It's grinning. You bring your bolter up. The weapon feels light in your enhanced hands. Familiar. You stripped and cleaned this gun so many times you could do it blindfolded. You fired 10,000 practice rounds. But this is different. This is the first time you're aiming at something that wants to kill you. The orc is already bringing the axe back around. A horizontal swing this time. Aimed at your torso. It's fast. Faster than something that size has any right to be. The axe head is a blur of rust and edge. You squeeze the trigger. The bolter kicks against your shoulder. The sound is enormous in the confined space of the canyon. A crack boom that echoes off the fungal walls and comes back distorted. Your ears ring despite the audio dampeners in your helmet. The first round takes the orc in the chest. You see the impact. The way its skin dimples inward for a fraction of a second before the mass reactive charge detonates. The bolt punches through the crude armor plate. Scrap metal bolted directly to its flesh and explodes inside the chest cavity. The orc staggers, but it doesn't fall. You fire again. Second round. Center mass. The training is automatic now. Your body knows what to do, even as your mind screams that you just shot something and it's still coming. The bolt enters 2 inches left of the first impact. Another explosion. Another flower of gore blooming through the exit wound. The axe is still coming. The orc's momentum carries it forward even as its torso comes apart. The blade is 3 feet from your head. 2 feet. You fire a third time. This round catches it in the sternum. The explosion is different, louder, wetter. You feel the spray of hot blood across your helmet visor. The orc's chest cavity opens like a door swinging wide. You can see ribs, lung tissue. Something green and pulsing that might be a heart or might be fungal growth. With orcs, it's hard to tell. The axe stops. The orc's arm goes slack. The weapon drops from nerveless fingers and hits the ground with a dull thud that you feel through your boots. The orc follows a second later. It falls backward, crashes into a shelf of fungus that explodes into spore clouds. The body twitches. Once, twice, then still. You're breathing hard. You can hear it inside your helmet. Fast, ragged. Your hands are shaking slightly. The bolter's barrel is still smoking. The smell of propellant mixes with the canyon's wet rot stench and something else. The orc's blood, which smells like copper and mold and something faintly acidic. You just killed your first Xenos. You wait for something to change, some feeling of triumph or horror or significance. But there's nothing. Just the ringing in your ears and the taste of recycled air and the knowledge that you're still alive and it isn't. Contact front, you Vox. Your voice is steady, professional. You sound like you've done this 100 times. 1 orc. Neutralized. Moreau's voice crackles back. Status. Green. Continuing. You step over the body. Its eyes are still open, still red, but empty now. Just meat and fungus pretending to be a warrior. You keep your bolter trained on it until you're past. You've heard the stories about orcs that keep fighting with half their organs missing. This one stays down. The canyon stretches ahead. The spore clouds are thicker now. Your auspex pings. Multiple contacts. 40 meters. 35. Closing. You hear them before you see them. A sound like laughter mixed with a war cry. That distinctive orc bellow that's equal parts joy and rage. They're coming. You check your ammunition counter. 19 rounds remaining. You chamber a fresh bolt. The mechanical click-clack is reassuring. Solid. Real. Morrow's voice. Spread out. Overlapping fields of fire. Hold until my mark. You move to your position. A slight depression in the canyon floor behind a fungal outcropping. Good cover. Clear sight lines. Your hands have stopped shaking. The first orc you killed is already behind you, already irrelevant. There are more coming. There are always more coming. You settle the bolter against your shoulder. Sight down the barrel. Wait. Your finger rests on the trigger, light pressure. Not enough to fire, just enough to feel the resistance, to know exactly how much more force you'll need. The sounds get louder. Closer. You can hear individual voices now. Guttural. Excited. They know you're here. They're coming anyway. That's what orcs do. You breathe. In. Out. In. Your heartbeat slows. Steadies. The shaking is gone. The fear is still there. You're not stupid, but it's distant now. Manageable. A voice in the back of your mind that you can ignore. Morrow's voice. Steady! You're steady. The first greenskin rounds the corner 30 meters ahead. Then another. Then 5 more. They're not in formation. Orcs don't blooded the spider hole. You've been in the hole for 6 hours when the first insect finds your face. You feel it before you see it. A tickle along your jawline, just below the respirator seal. 6 legs, methodical. Exploring the salt-slick terrain of your skin. Don't move. The spider hole is barely wide enough for your shoulders. Dug 3 feet deep into the fungal loam at the canyon's edge, camouflage netting stretched across the top, secured with biodegradable stakes that'll dissolve in the next acid rain. The air inside tastes like rot and rubber, half from the canyon's perpetual decay, half from your respirator's recycled breath. You can't see the insect. Your face is pressed against the scope, eye locked to the eyepiece, watching the approach to the orc encampment 200 meters downslope. Your world has shrunk to that circle of enhanced vision. Everything else is peripheral awareness. Sound, smell, the weight of your body against dirt. The insect reaches your cheekbone. Pauses. You feel its mandibles test your skin. Don't move. Your orders were explicit. Maintain overwatch until dawn. 16 hours minimum. The main assault team needs eyes on the greenskin position. Needs to know if reinforcements arrive. Needs to know if the war boss moves. Needs you to stay exactly where you are, watching, reporting via Vox in whispered bursts, becoming part of the landscape. The insect crawls higher, toward your eye. You breathe through your nose, slow, controlled. The respirator's filter clicks softly with each inhalation. In, hold, out, hold! The rhythm marrow drilled into you, the rhythm that keeps you invisible. Fast breathing shows on thermal scans. Panicked breathing makes you careless. The insect reaches the edge of your eye socket. Your scope shows 3 orcs around a fire. They're eating something. You can't tell what. Don't want to know. One of them throws a bone into the flames. Sparks rise. The greenskin laughs. That distinctive orc sound, like rocks grinding together. The insect touches your eyelid. Every instinct screams to flinch, to blink, to brush it away. You don't. It crawls across your closed eyelid. You feel every leg, every pause, the slight pressure of its body. Your eye wants to open, wants to tear, wants to do anything except stay still while something walks across it. You keep watching through your other eye. The orcs haven't moved. The camp is quiet except for their guttural conversation. You count 17 greenskins visible, 3 crude vehicles, 1 large tent that probably houses the war boss. The insect reaches your other eye, starts crossing that eyelid too. Your training says you're supposed to embrace discomfort, supposed to make it irrelevant, supposed to achieve a state where physical sensation becomes background noise. Your training is full of shit. This is torture, pure and simple. Your body is screaming. Your mind is screaming. Every nerve ending in your face is screaming. But you don't move because moving means the mission fails. Moving means your brothers die. Moving means you weren't strong enough, so you don't move. The insect finishes its journey across your face and disappears into your hair. You feel it moving across your scalp. Then it's gone. You exhale. Slowly. The relief is so intense it's almost painful. Hour 7. Your legs went numb 2 hours ago. The feeling is coming back now in waves of pins and needles. Your lower back is cramping. Your shoulders ache from holding position. Your neck is on fire from keeping your head at this angle. You ignore it. The scope shows movement. An orc vehicle approaching from the east. A crude truck, belching black smoke, listing to one side. It rumbles into camp. More greenskins pile out. You count them. Vox it in. Whisper, quiet. Command. Scout 7. Enemy reinforcements, 12 contacts. Vehicle type truck. Marking position. Static crackles in your ear. Then Maro's voice, equally quiet. Acknowledged 7. Maintain position. Understood. You settle back into stillness, into waiting. Into the eternal present tense of the spider hole, where time stops meaning anything except the space between one breath and the next. Hour 9. 3 more insects have found you. 1 is in your ear. You can hear it moving, feel it deep in the canal, legs scratching against skin. The sound is impossibly loud, impossibly intimate. It's inside your head. Don't move. Another is under your collar, crawling down your spine. Each leg is a pinpoint of sensation against your vertebrae. Your skin wants to crawl, wants to writhe, wants to do anything to dislodge the invader. You don't let it. The third is back on your face. Exploring your nose this time. You breathe through your mouth, through the respirator, shallow breaths that don't disturb it. It reaches the edge of your nostril. Pauses. You feel it, considering. Then it crawls inside. Your body convulses before you can stop it. Just a twitch, just a tiny spasm of rejection. But it's enough. The camouflage netting rustles, just barely, just enough that if someone was watching, if someone had good ears, they might notice. You freeze, completely, utterly, not breathing, not moving, not existing. In your scope, one of the orcs looks up, looks in your direction. Its pig-like eyes scan the canyon rim. Your heart hammers. The insect is still in your nose, still crawling, still triggering every panic response your body has. The orc stares for 5 seconds. 10. 15. Then it shrugs and goes back to its meal. You start breathing again. Microscopic movements. The insect eventually crawls back out. You don't react. You've learned. Hour 12. The cramps in your legs have graduated to full spasms. Every few minutes your calf muscle seizes, knotting into a ball of fire. You can't stretch, can't move, can't do anything except endure while your own body tries to tear itself apart. You've pissed yourself twice. The warmth was almost pleasant. The sky shifts from black to bruised purple. Hour 16. Your vox crackles. Sergeant Morrow's voice, flat as a blade. All units, prepare for assault. Emperor protects. You don't believe that last part anymore. Not after 16 hours breathing recycled air thick with your own fear sweat. But you grip your bolter tighter anyway. The fungal canyon erupts. Last fire first! Crimson lines cutting through the pre-dawn haze, turning the air itself into a weapon. The heat washes over your spider hole, even from 200 meters away. You feel it through the earth, through your bones, the coordinated fury of 3. Guard infantry platoons opening fire simultaneously. The orcs roar back. You've heard it before during the ambush! But this is different. This isn't a patrol caught off guard. This is a horde waking up angry. The sound rolls through the canyon like an avalanche of hate. Hundreds of throats. Thousands. All screaming for blood. Last fire scorches the air above your position. A stray shot. Guard or orc, impossible to tell, superheats the rock 3 meters to your left. You smell ozone and cooked stone. The air shimmers, distorts, turns solid with heat. Scouts, report positions. Moreau's voice, still calm, like he's asking about the weather. You key your vox. Scout 4-7, holding overwatch. No movement on? Then you see it. The war boss. It emerges from the largest fungal structure, like a god of war made flesh, 3 meters tall, maybe more. Its armor is a patchwork of scrap metal, imperial hull plating, and what looks like the faceplate of a sentinel walker bolted to its chest. Crude. Brutal. Effective. It's carrying a power claw the size of a man. Your training takes over. Muscle memory. Drilled into you through 10,000 repetitions until thinking and doing became the same thing. Range estimation, 420 meters. Wind speed, negligible in the canyon. Elevation, 12 degrees down, angle. You pull the auspex from your belt. Aim. Lock. The device chirps softly, feeding coordinates directly into your Vox system. Target acquired. Your voice surprises you. It's steady. Priority Alpha. Orc War Boss. Transmitting coordinates now. Last fire intensifies. The orcs are charging. You can see them now. A green tide pouring from the fungal structures like infection from a wound. They don't run. They flow. A living mass of violence that doesn't care about casualties because there's always more behind them. The first wave hits the guard line. Even from here, you hear the impact, metal on metal, flesh on flesh, screaming, both human and Xenos. The sounds blend together until you can't tell which is which. Coordinates received. Different voice on the Vox. Artillery command, clipped, professional, already calculating firing solutions. Stand by for fire mission, the war boss bellows. Raises its claw. The gesture is clear even at this distance. Forward, kill, destroy. The horde responds, surges forward. The guard line buckles. You watch through your scope. The war boss is moving now. Striding toward the battle with the confidence of something that's never lost a fight. Smaller orcs scramble to keep up. It's command squad, 6 of them, each one large enough to tear a man apart. Lass fire rakes across your position. The air above your spider hole turns into plasma. You press yourself flat, cheek against the dirt as superheated air tries to cook you alive. The rocks around your hide are glowing. Actually glowing. Cherry red in the dim dawn light. Someone's targeting the ridge. Orc or guard, doesn't matter. You're in the kill zone. Fire mission approved. Artillery command. Impact in 40 seconds. All units, danger close. Mark your positions. 40 seconds. You key your Vox. Scout 47. Marked. Then you pull a phosphorescent strip from your kit and crack it. Green light. Bright enough for the artillery spotter's scopes. Bright enough to tell them, don't shoot here. Bright enough to maybe get you killed if the orcs see it. You weight your options. Death by artillery. Death by orc. The choice isn't really a choice. The green light stays. Last fire continues to scorch the air. You can taste it now. Ozone and burning metal. The flavor coats your tongue, slides down your throat. Your eyes are watering from the heat. You blink, trying to clear them. Can't risk losing sight of the target. The war boss has reached the guard line. It's not a fight, it's a slaughter. The power claw shears through a guardsman armor, flesh, bone, all of it, like he's made of paper. The body falls in 2 pieces. The war boss doesn't even slow down. It's already moving to the next target. 20 seconds. You watch through your scope. The war boss's command squad is fanning out. Brutal efficiency. They're not mindless. They're coordinated. Everything the propaganda says. Orcs aren't supposed to be. Another guardsman dies. Then another. The line is breaking. All units brace for impact. Artillery command. Professional. Detached. They're about to drop high explosive on coordinates you provided. If you're wrong, if your calculations were off by even a few degrees, those shells land on the guard line instead. 10 seconds. The war boss raises its claw again. Triumphant, it knows it's winning. You can see it in the way it moves. The swagger. The confidence. It's probably won 100 fights like this. This is number 11. You hear it before you see it. A shriek. High. Pitched. Getting louder, the sound of mass moving at terminal velocity, artillery shells cutting through atmosphere. 5 seconds. The war boss hears it too. Its head snaps up, looking for the threat. But it's too late. Way too late. The first shell hits. The world turns white, then red, then white again. The explosion is a physical thing, a wall of pressure that slams into your spider hole even from 400 meters away. The earth bucks. The mine entrance looks wrong. You can't explain it. Not in words. But you've learned to trust the itch between your shoulder blades, the way your enhanced senses whisper warnings your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. The air tastes metallic. Not promethium, not last discharge. Something organic, something that shouldn't be here. Brother, Scout Valen is 3 meters to your left. You can hear his breathing through the Vox. Steady, controlled. He's been a scout for 2 years longer than you. 17 confirmed kills. He should make full battle brother next month. Should. Sergeant Morrow's voice crackles in your ear. Hold position. Command wants confirmation before we advance. Your belly down in the slag heap. Chunks of processed ore digging into your chest plate. Your sniper rifle, a modified N40 with extended barrel and blessed optics, is trained on the mine entrance. The scope shows thermal, movement patterns, anything that breathes. The tunnel mouth is cold, empty. Too empty. Sarge! You vox. Something's off. Elaborate. You can't. That's the problem. Your gene-enhanced instincts are screaming, but your rational mind has nothing to report. No movement, no heat signatures, no. The ground moves, not the ground in front of you, the ground beneath you. The slag heap erupts. They come up through the processed ore like sharks through water, pale flesh. Too many limbs, mouths that open wrong. You see Valen for a split second, his head turning towards you, eyes wide, mouth opening to shout a warning. Then he's gone. Pulled down. Not killed, not shot, pulled down into the earth by hands that aren't hands. You roll. Muscle memory. Training. Your rifle is useless at this range, so you let it fall on its sling and your bolt pistol is in your hand before you've completed the movement. The creature erupting from where you were lying a second ago is tall, taller than you. Purple-gray skin stretched over too much muscle. Its head is elongated, eyeless. The mouth opens in 4 directions and you see rows of teeth like industrial drill bits. You fire. The bolt round takes it in the chest. The mass reactive detonates. The creature's torso opens like a flower made of meat and bone fragments. It doesn't stop coming. You fire again. Headshot. The skull detonates. Purple ichor sprays across your visor. It falls. You're already moving. Rolling right, coming up to a crouch. Your enhanced eyes catalog the battlefield in microseconds. 7 contacts. No. 9. No. More emerging from the slag, from the tunnel mouth, from fissures in the ground you didn't know were there. The vox is chaos. Screaming. Bolter fire. Sergeant Morrow's voice cutting through. Cult. Ambush. Fall. Back. Toe. Static. You see him. 50 meters away. 3 of them on him. He's firing his bolt pistol point blank, blowing chunks out of them. But they're fast. So fast. One of them has his arm. It's claws. 4-fingered, each finger ending in something like a scythe sink into his armor at the elbow joint. You hear the ceramide crack. You're running before you decide to run, your legs pumping. Your hearts, both of them now, the second one they gave you 6 months ago, hammering in your chest. Your bolt pistol up, firing as you move. 1 round, miss, the creature's too fast. 2 rounds, hit, center mass. It staggers. 3 rounds. Headshot. It drops. But there are more. So many more. Brother! Scout Valen's scream cuts through the vox. You've never heard a space marine scream like that. High. Broken. The sound of someone who knows they're dying and can't stop it. Then silence. His life sign, rune on your visor display, goes from green to red to black. Dead. You're 20 meters from Mara when you see it, the thing that killed Valen. It rises from the slag heap like something born from nightmares, twice the height of the others. Its head is crowned with some kind of chitinous crest, 4 arms, each one holding a weapon that looks grown rather than forged. Bone blades. Serrated, dripping with something that stings when it hits the ground. In one of its lower arms, it's holding something. Part of Valen. You can't tell which part. The armor is shredded. The flesh beneath is. You fire. The bolt round hits the creature in what you think is its shoulder. The explosion tears away a chunk of carapace. Purple blood sprays. It turns to look at you. No eyes, but you feel it looking. It drops what it's holding. Then it moves. Fast, faster than anything that size should move, covering the distance between you in seconds. You're firing, every round hitting, blowing holes in it, but it's not stopping. It's not stopping. Your bolt pistol clicks empty. You have maybe 2 seconds before it reaches you. Your combat knife is in your hand. 13 inches of blessed steel. You've killed with it before. Orcs, chaos cultists, a feral grox once during training. This is different. The creature is on you. All 4 arms moving. Blades cutting air. You duck under the first strike. Feel the wind of it pass over your head. Roll left. Come up inside its guard. Your knife finds something soft. You drive it up into what you hope is vital. Hot fluid gushes over your hand. The creature shrieks. The sound is so loud your auto senses dampen it, but you still feel it in your teeth. One of its arms catches you. The bone blade scrapes across your chest plate. The ceramite holds, but the force sends you flying. You hit the ground. Roll. Come up ready. The creature is staggering. Your knife is still in it, buried to the hilt in what might be its abdomen. Purple ichor is pouring out, steaming. The smell is acidic, chemical, wrong. It reaches down with one hand, pulls the knife out, looks at it, then throws it aside. You hear bolter fire! Heavy bolter. The distinctive roar. You can't see it anymore. The night vision display in your helm flickers. Static washes across your vision. Then nothing. Just darkness. Absolute. Complete. The kind of dark that exists underground. The kind that has weight. You rip the helm off. It's useless now. Compromised. The Magus did something when its mind touched yours. Fried the optics. You're blind without it, but half blind with it is worse. At least now you have your natural vision. What's left of it? The implants gave you better eyes than you were born with, but down here that means nothing. You crouch, back against the tunnel wall, wet, stone cold even through your body glove. You can hear them, all around, breathing, chittering, that wet clicking sound they make. Cultists and what they've become, what they're becoming, the hybrids, the purest strain, all of them between you and the surface. Your knife is gone. Still buried in that creature's corpse back in the main chamber. Your bolt pistol is empty, magazine dry. You threw the last one at a hybrid's face just to buy 3 seconds. 3 seconds to run. To get into these smaller tunnels where they have to come at you one at a time. You have your combat knife. Standard issue. Monomolecular edge. 20 centimeters of high-carbon ceramite bonded steel. You've kept it sharp. Sergeant Morrow's words in your head. Your blade is your last friend. Treat it well. Movement. To your left. U-turn. Can't see anything. Just darkness. But you hear it. Claws on stone. Careful. Slow. They're hunting you. You're hunting them. The difference is they can see in the dark. No. That's not quite right. They can sense you. Psychic resonance. The brood mind. They're all connected. When you killed one, they all felt it. When you killed 5, they all knew where you were. Now you're in the tunnels, and they're being careful. Because 5 of their kin are dead, and you're still breathing. Your mouth tastes like copper. You bit your tongue when that hybrid tackled you, slammed you into the wall. You killed it, but not before it got its claws into your shoulder. The wound is shallow, the body glove sealed. But it burns. Their claws are toxic. Not enough to kill you. The implants will handle it, but enough to hurt, enough to slow you. You smell them before you hear them. That Xenos stink, like spoiled meat and something else. Something chemical, ammonia and ozone and rotting flowers. It's in the air down here, thick, coating your throat, making you want to gag. You don't. You breathe through it, slow, controlled, like Morrow taught you. The smell gets stronger, closer. You flatten yourself against the wall, feel the tunnel curve, use that. Let the darkness be your ally for once. You're human. You're small. You can make yourself smaller. They're Xenos. They're arrogant. They think they've won. Claws on stone, very close now. You can hear its breathing. Wet, ragged, excited. It knows you're here. Somewhere. It's tasting the air. That's what they do. Flicking those tongues. Sampling your scent, your fear. You're not afraid. You're calm. Cold. The way you get in the moment before. The way time slows and your vision narrows and everything becomes simple. Kill or die. Simple. It rounds the corner. You feel the air move, feel its presence, sense more than see the bulk of it. You move, fast, faster than thought. Your knife comes up, hard, angled. You aim for where the throat should be, where it was on the last 3 you killed. The blade sinks in, hits something solid, bone. You adjust, twist, pull down, feel it, part meat. Sinew. Something vital. Hot liquid pours over your hand. Not blood. Ichor. Purple-black even in the darkness. You can't see it, but you know. You've seen it before. It's hot, almost scalding, acidic. It burns where it touches your skin. The creature makes a sound, not a scream, a gurgle, wet, choking. It tries to grab you, claws rake across your arm, shallow. The body glove holds mostly. You feel the sting, feel warmth. Your blood this time, red, human, you don't care. You rip the knife free, stab again. And again. Short, controlled, the way Morrow showed you. Don't waste movement, don't overextend. Each strike has purpose. Throat, chest, abdomen. You're not trying to hurt it, you're trying to end it. It falls. You feel it go down. Hear it. Hit the stone, twitching, dying. That clicking sound getting weaker, then stopping. You stand over it, breathing hard. Your hand is covered in its blood, your blood, mixed together. You wipe the knife on your leg. It doesn't help much. You hear more of them, coming. They felt that one die. Now they know exactly where you are. You move, deeper into the tunnels. Away from the sound, your hand throbs. The acid burn is getting worse. You ignore it. Pain is information. It tells you you're alive. You can deal with it later. The tunnel branches. You go right. No reason, just instinct. The floor slopes down. You don't like that. Down means away from the surface, but up means toward them, toward the main force. You need to get around them. Come at them from behind. Or find another way out. Your eyes are adjusting. Barely. There's no light down here, but there's something. Phosphorescence, maybe. Fungus on the walls. It gives off a faint glow. Sickly green. Barely enough to see shapes. You can make out the tunnel walls now. The ceiling. Low. You have to hunch. Something moves ahead. You freeze. Wait. It's not one of them. Too small. You move closer. Careful. It's a cultist. Human. Or was human. The infection is taking him. You can see it even in this light. The way his spine curves wrong. The way his arms are too long. He's wearing mining overalls. Torn. Stained. He's holding a crude pistol. Auto stub. The cultist doesn't see you. His attention is fixed down the tunnel. Toward the sounds of battle. You could take him quietly. Should take him quietly. But movement behind him stops you cold. Something else is there. Taller. Much taller. Robed. The fabric moves wrong, like it's underwater, like gravity doesn't quite apply. You can't see a face, just shadow where a face should be. But you feel eyes on you anyway. The magus. Your hand finds your bolt pistol. Slow, so slow. Your fingers are numb. The grip feels distant, like you're wearing thick gloves. You're not wearing gloves. The robed figure turns. Fully turns. Toward you. And suddenly you can't move at all. It's not paralysis. Your muscles work. You can feel them, but they won't obey. Like there's a wall between your thoughts and your body. Thick glass. You're pushing against it. Nothing happens. The magus glides forward. Not walking. Gliding. The cultist with the pistol doesn't react. Doesn't even turn. Like he can't see this happening. Or doesn't want to. You try to raise the bolt pistol. Your arm twitches. That's all. A twitch. The pressure in your head builds. It started as discomfort. Now it's pain. Real pain. Like someone is reaching inside your skull. Fingers pressing against the inside of your forehead. Your temples. The base of your skull. Pressing harder. The magus stops 3 meters away. You can see it now. What's under the hood? Not a face. Faces have structure. Bone. This is fluid. Shifting. Purple and pink flesh that moves like something is crawling beneath it. No eyes. Just hollows. Deep hollows. But you feel its gaze anyway. Youngling. The word appears in your mind. Not spoken. Just there. Like it grew there. Like it was always there. The voice is rawn. Multiple tones. Multiple speakers. All slightly out of sync. So small. So new. So afraid. You're not afraid. You're a scout marine. You've been trained, conditioned, hypno-indoctrinated. Fear is managed, controlled, weaponized. But your hands are shaking. Yes, there it is. The fear, the doubt, the weakness. The pressure increases. It's not just in your head anymore. It's everywhere. Your chest. Your spine. Like invisible hands are squeezing, testing, looking for cracks. Your vision blurs. The tunnel walls seem to breathe, pulse. The green luminescence brightens, dims, brightens again. In rhythm with something. A heartbeat maybe. Not yours. Something else's. You are nothing. A child playing soldier. You know this. Deep down, where the training hasn't reached. Where the conditioning hasn't burned. You know, you try to speak, to recite the litany of hate, the words your chaplain drilled into you. But your jaw won't move. Your tongue is lead. The magus drifts closer. 1 meter now. You can smell it. Sweet rot. Overripe fruit. Meat left too long in the sun. Your stomach turns. You taste bile. Look at you. So fragile. So temporary. Your emperor cannot save you here. Cannot hear you. This deep. This far. You are alone. Images flood your mind. Not your memories. Someone else's. The hive city where you were born. You see it from above. From orbit. A sprawl of rust and smoke, billions of lives, billions of souls, all meaningless, all temporary, all dust waiting to happen. You see your family, your mother. You haven't thought of her in years. The conditioning saw to that. But there she is. Her face. Tired. So tired. Working the assembly line, day after day, year after year, until she couldn't anymore. Until they recycled her body for protein paste. This is what you fight for. This is what you die for. Suffering. Endless suffering. Your Imperium is a machine that devours its children. The pressure is crushing now. You can't breathe. Can't think. The images keep coming. Battle brothers dying, screaming, burning, torn apart. For what? For worlds that will fall anyway. For an emperor who's been dead for 10,000 years. For an Imperium that sees you as ammunition, expendable, replaceable. You know the truth. You've always known, the voice in the dark, the doubt in the quiet moments. We can end it. The pain, the fear, the struggle. Join us. Become more. Become perfect. Your knees buckle. You're falling, slowly, like you're underwater. The bolt pistol is slipping from your grip. Your fingers won't close, won't hold. Yes, let go. It's easier, so much easier. The struggle is over. You are free. The floor rushes up. No, you're not falling. You're kneeling. When did you kneel? You don't remember deciding to kneel. The Magus is directly in front of you now, close enough to touch. That knot face fills your vision, the hollows where eyes should be, deep, infinite. You could fall into them, disappear. Maybe that would be better. Maybe. No. The thought is small, distant, but it's yours, not the voice, not the pressure, yours. No. No. You remember something. A moment. In the Apothecarian, after the first implant surgery, waking up, the pain was everything. Your body was on fire. Your bones were breaking and reforming. Breaking and reforming. You wanted to die, begged to die, but you didn't. You chose to breathe, chose to endure, chose to become. That is not strength. That is programming, conditioning. You are a tool, nothing more. Maybe your hand moves, just a finger. One finger. Curling, fighting against the pressure, against the weight of that psychic grip. Maybe you are a tool, but you're the Emperor's tool. The Emperor is dead.
Maybe your whole hand moves now.
Closing around the bolt pistol grip. The metal is cold, real, solid, not like the shifting unreality of the Magus's presence. But you're not. The pressure spikes. Agony, pure agony. The agony breaks. Not because the Magus releases you, not because your will proves stronger than its psychic grip, but because you pull the trigger. The bolt round catches the Magus in the center of its chest. The creature's third eye, that obscene vertical slit in its forehead, widens in something that might be surprise. The psychic pressure shatters like glass. You pull the trigger again, and again, and again. The Magus falls backward into the darkness of the tunnel. You can't see where it lands. You're not sure you care. Your hand is shaking. The bolt pistol feels impossibly heavy. You let it drop to your side, still gripped in your fingers, barrel pointing at the stone floor. The silence that follows is worse than the screaming was. You taste blood. Yours. You bit through your tongue at some point during the psychic assault. The pain is distant. Everything is distant. You're standing in the center of a massacre cultist body sprawled in the unnatural poses of violent death. Brother? Scout Valen's remains scattered across the tunnel entrance, and all you can think about is how quiet it is now. Your vox crackles. Sergeant Morrow's voice cuts through the static. Scout! Report! You key! The transmit stud! Your voice comes out steady. You're surprised by that. Cult eliminated, Sergeant. Magus terminated. Position secure. Casualties? You look at what's left of Valen. 1. Brother. Scout Valen. KIA. Silence on the Vox. Then, mark his gene seed location. Recovery team inbound. Well done, Scout! The connection cuts. Well done. You stand there in the dark, surrounded by the dead, and try to understand what those words mean. The recovery team arrives within the hour. They don't speak to you. They retrieve what remains of Valen with practiced efficiency. The progenoid glands carefully extracted, sealed in stasis containers, labeled with his service number. His gene seed will live on in another aspirant, his legacy preserved. You watch them work. You don't help. Nobody expects you to. When they leave, you follow. You don't look back at the tunnel. You don't need to. You'll see it every time you close your eyes for the next decade. The Thunderhawk extraction takes you back to the Fortress Monastery. You sit in the troop bay in silence. The other scouts from different kill teams fill the remaining seats. Some are wounded. Some are blood-soaked, but whole. One is missing both legs below the knee, tourniquets tight, his face pale but his jaw set. Nobody speaks. You all survived! That's enough! 3 days later, You stand in the chapter master's sanctum. The room is vast. Vaulted ceilings disappear into shadow. Banners hang from the walls, company standards, campaign honors, the names of fallen heroes inscribed in gold leaf that catches the light of floating candles. The candles themselves hover without support, maintained by some mechanism you don't understand and aren't meant to question. The chapter master sits behind a desk carved from a single piece of black stone.
He is not in his Terminator plate!
He wears simple robes, but the weight of his presence fills the room more completely than any armor could. His face is ancient centuries of service etched into every line, every scar. His eyes are the color of storm clouds. You stand at attention before him. Parade rest would be insulting. Your carapace armor has been cleaned, but you can still smell the copper tang of blood in the joints. He studies you for a long moment. You don't flinch. You've learned not to flinch.
Scout,
he says finally. His voice is deep, resonant. The kind of voice that could command armies or deliver eulogies with equal weight.
Your sergeant speaks highly of your performance in the Fungal Canyons. The elimination of the Orc scouting party.
The precision of your coordinates during the dawn assault. You say nothing. You weren't asked a question. Brother, Chaplain Mordrin reports on your conduct during the Mind Purge. The cult magus, the psychic assault. His eyes narrow slightly. He tells me you hesitated. Your jaw tightens. Yes, Chapter Master. Why? The question hangs in the air. You could lie. You could say you were assessing the threat, calculating angles of fire, waiting for the optimal moment to strike. But you don't. I was afraid, Chapter Master. The silence that follows is absolute. You can hear your own heartbeat, the enhanced rhythm of it. Too slow for a baseline human, too fast for a full Astartes. You're caught between worlds. Scout. Not quite Space Marine, not quite human anymore either. Afraid? The Chapter Master repeats. He doesn't make it a question. He doesn't make it a condemnation. He just lets the word exist. Yes, sir. And yet you fought. Yes, sir. You killed the Magus. Yes, sir. He leans back in his chair. The movement is slight, but it changes everything. The weight of his judgment lifts fractionally. Not gone. Never gone. But eased. Fear is not weakness, Scout. Fear is recognition of danger, of mortality, of the stakes of failure. He pauses. It is what you do with that fear that defines you. Do you let it paralyze you, or do you harness it? Make it fuel. You think about that moment in the tunnel, the psychic pressure crushing your thoughts, the Magus's voice in your head, the certainty that you were going to die. And then, the decision, the choice, the movement of your finger on the trigger. I used it, sir, you say quietly. I was afraid, so I pulled the trigger before I could think about it anymore. The Chapter Master's expression doesn't change, but something in his eyes shifts. Approval! Recognition! You're not sure. You're not meant to be sure. Brother! Chaplain Mordrin also reports that you performed the last rites for Brother Scout Valen, that you spoke the litany of sacrifice over his remains before the recovery team arrived. You hadn't known anyone was watching. You'd thought you were alone in that tunnel, but of course you weren't. There are always eyes, always surveillance. The chapter sees everything. Yes, sir. He deserved that much. He deserved more, the Chapter Master.